Welcome to Cool2Craft. I'm Tiffany Windsor.
And I'm Heidi Borchers.
Today we are celebrating our girlfriends.
You know, I think it could be sisters too, because the girlfriend could be a sister.
Oh, how sweet. Yes, you are my girlfriend and my best friend.
Oh, thank you.
It can be sisters or girlfriends who are not family.
Just
it can
friends.
It's all of you. So what I want to do is go through the list of what we're showing today. A list that sounds so formal.
Well, it's to think about what you can make to celebrate and give a gift to your friends, just to show them that you care. Mm-hmm. And I think if you make them up and you just always have something on hand to have that gift, when the time is, there's a time, there's certain times it's like, wow, you're such a great friend.
And so to have a handmade gift for them, ready to go, is perfect.
Right.
What are you creating?
I am making a fabulous pendant with eggshell mosaic, but it's done differently than you've ever seen before.
It's a vintage Mama Aline's technique, but it's with a new glue.
It's a secret.
Oh, I just let the cat out of the bag. They're all girlfriends, so it's okay.
They'll keep our secret.
Candace J is joining us today with a special girlfriend project, and she celebrates girlfriends in the greatest way.
She sure does.
And I am going to be creating my girlfriend boxes. You know, this is my signature for my girlfriend gift. And
you do it right too, because you always make a lot of them. You always have them available.
Yes. See, so I've listened to us so that I have them ready. But each box that I create has its own special personality that I always match up with the perfect girlfriend.
It probably has a theme on each box that you're thinking about making when you make it, but you just don't tell anybody.
We have a great show ahead, so don't go away. We're celebrating our girlfriends with today's show. I love this theme.
I do too. It's celebrating all of our friends, because it doesn't have to be a girlfriend. You could have a friend that's a guy.
Yes. So we'll have to have a show that's guy friends and what we craft for them.
Just friends. Anybody that's a friend.
But
special.
It is so wonderful to be able to share our love and passion and appreciation for crafting with our girlfriends. It happens most of our girlfriends also create, but whether they do or not, it's always great to receive a handmade gift.
Right. I was just going to say that. There's nothing like a handmade gift.
Well, you can say it.
I just did.
Say it again.
There's nothing like a handmade gift.
What are you creating today?
I have a necklace with a pendant on it that's made out of eggshell and alcohol inks, but I'm not using the Aline's tacky glue like I did before. I'm using a new glue. Check it out. For today's project, I'm using the Aline's Tacky Double Stick Sheets. They come 4 1/4 by 5 inches, and they have a top liner and a bottom liner, and in between is a dry adhesive. So it works perfect for this project. I'm using a little square piece of wood that you can find in your craft shop. It's about 1 1/4 by 1 1/4, maybe about 1/8 of an inch thick. And I have pre-painted my pieces with a black acrylic paint. Now I found that you need to use some kind of paint for the background, because you will see some of the base when you go to put your eggshell on. And I don't think you want to see wood. So I like the black, or I also even did some of them with a cream color. Next thing you do is you cut out a piece of the Aline's Tacky Double Stick Sheets to fit, and then you pull off the bottom liner, and your sticky adhesive is right there. Now, for your eggshells, you need to make sure that your eggshells are clean. So you want to soak them maybe in a cup of water with a teaspoon of bleach overnight to remove the membrane. Because if you leave the membrane on there, what happens is the membrane sticks to the tacky sheets, but the eggshell doesn't. So then just break your tacky or your eggshell, put it into the sticky and push it down, And it's just applying them like a mosaic. And don't worry about them going over the edge, because we'll fix that in a little bit. And you know, you want not to probably have too much gap in between, but it's okay if you do. No problem. Like, I can see that this pointed one will fit really nice in there. And also, when you know, when that membrane's cleaned out too, they break really easy, so you can put them on really fast. This is such a fast, quick and easy, and a really neat project. Get it up as close as you want it. Don't want that one. Then at the end, you want to start filling in little pieces. So like right there, I want to put a little piece to cover that. Over here, I want to make sure that I have a piece that goes and fits there perfect. And let's try and break one to go in this little piece, this little area over here. Oops. Sometimes tweezers would probably help too. Okay. Now go to the edge and break off all your pieces that are over the edge. And if you kind of put your finger on the edge as you're breaking it, then you don't take the pieces off. And if one comes off, well, I think I'm going to leave that piece off. I like that corner showing. Now at this point, I take that liner sheet that I took off to begin with, and I put it back on, and I just push on my eggshell, and this gives it all kinds of cracks. So when I go to put on my alcohol inks, they really spread quite nicely into the eggshell. Got one more there. I think I'm ready to put on my alcohol ink. So all I do is just take and just drop them on. And you can see how they just spread in all the different cracks. Look at that. Oh, that's so pretty. And just put on the next color. I love alcohol inks because they're kind of like, if you make a mistake, there is no mistake, because you can just keep adding them on and adding them on. Let's put a little bit more green over here. Now, if you get too much alcohol ink and it bunches up on there, you just take a paper towel and dab it off. Now let this set until it's dry, till it doesn't come off. It's not a long time, probably an hour would be good. And then you're going to put on a finish. Now I found, it's really cool, I found that the Aleene's Clear Gel Tacky Glue works really, really good as a sealer and a finish. It puts a really nice finish onto it. So just start to squeeze it on. And I go around the outside edge first. Put that down. And then I just fill in the middle. Make sure that I got all my places. And then if you have any little areas, make sure that it goes to the edge. You can even take a little bit on your finger and go on the outside edge to make sure you get that covered. Oh, I see a little place in the center. And then that's all there is to it. Now let's take a look at the finished piece. Notice that I put a bail on it. I glued the bail on with the Aleene's 7800 industrial glue. And you can see the finish of we're using the Aleene's Clear Gel Tacky Glue. It makes a fabulous finish and it's glossy. And you can see how I put on the alcohol inks, and then I just attached it to a really fun ribbon and cord necklace that I bought already made up at the craft store. Fun project, easy to do, anybody can do it. Have fun with it.
Heidi, I think that this is the perfect girlfriend gift.
I do too. It's quick, it's different, and you know, there's not one that turns out the same. They're always different.
I have a question for you because you use the Aleene's Clear Gel Tacky Glue, which is a new use for that. Tell me more about that, and how did you even think up that idea?
Well, I was actually looking for something that would be clear on it. You know, people don't realize how much testing goes on before I actually create, and I know you have the same challenge too. Before you actually get a project, you have to see if it's going to work first. And so I had this new glue, and so I did all kinds of things to see if it would work. So I was playing with it, and then I put it on one night, and then I came in the next day, and I'm like, whoa, that really worked great.
I was really excited to see that, and I want to play now with the Aleene's Clear Gel.
Because it doesn't feel like a glue at all. It feels like it's a gloss sealer. And it worked out perfectly. So this actually was kind of an accident. I had all kinds of things out, and I was trying all kinds of things, and this really worked the best.
A happy accident. Actually, a happy test. You know, we like to have the testing that works.
Right.
So pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to hear about that, and I'm going to try that out also.
You could probably try it out on your boxes too.
I can, but we'll have to try.
Was that a secret?
That was a secret. My secret girlfriend's gift. What I want to talk about now is actually introducing Candace J. She makes the most incredible projects, and she is really good about actually sending us girlfriend gifts. She'll send little surprise packages, which is so wonderful because you're not expecting anything, and all of a sudden this little package comes, and it has all of her little handmade beads or her polymer clay chocolates or something that she's handmade, and she truly epitomizes the girlfriend theme with everything that she does.
Yes, she does. Candace, what are you up to today?
Thank you, ladies. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to my studio. Come on in and set a spell. Let's talk about chocolate. You know, this is one of my favorite topics, and my best friend happens to love chocolate as much as I do. So I'm making her a gift of eternal chocolates, and I'm going to show you how to. Sit back and relax, because here we go. Before we talk about some of the techniques, I'd like to show you a box that I have in progress. It's polymer clay chocolates, just like the one I'm going to show you, and I did polymer clay tiles. Now when this sits in its frame, you'll be able to see the word friends on the side. It still needs a little bit of finish and trim, but I think it's going to be a pretty nice box. This box holds 3 chocolates, and a week after Valentine's Day, it costs like $1.50. So I bought everything that they had left over, dumped all the chocolates out. Okay, I ate them, but I saved a lot of them, and they're so much fun to decorate. You can see I've already covered the top because I'm going to do a tile mosaic on the front, and if any of it shows through, I don't want it to be the red foil that's there. And I also went around the white part on the base with a brown felt pen, but you can paint too. That works just fine. You don't normally have to worry about the bottom because that should not show. The first technique I want to show you is stamping on the polymer clay. And I have an archival ink. It's a sepia color. And I have this lovely design. A whole box takes several hours to make, so that's why I'm only going to show you some of the techniques. Now it's okay if it misses in some places because I have smaller stamps I can go back with to get them. And I'm not just stamping the ink on, I'm also stamping a little bit of texture into it as well. This is my little spiral stamper. It fills in the spots nicely. And it's okay if it overlaps a little bit. Okay, I think we're ready to cut. I have small square tile cutters that I use, actually cookie cutters, but I'll use them to cut tiles. And what I'll do is cut several of them in each color, and then I'm going to lay them out in a checkerboard pattern, and then I'm going to show you how to cut the top by laying the box on it. Here are the tiles laid out and ready to cut, and I put this template over it and moved it around to see what angle I liked best. And I think this is where I want to be, right here. So you're going to lay out your tiles. You're going to give it a little bit of a squish because you want it to stay on there while you're cutting. And use a craft knife with just a little bit of pressure and go all the way around. You can cut more perfectly after you're done. If you try to drag it through though, you're going to pull the tiles out of place. Here it is all together the way it's supposed to look. And now before I bake these, I'm going to cut some half tiles. So I'm going to line them up, and you can see some of them are not perfect. That doesn't matter. And I'm going to cut them about in half. And that's because when you put your tiles on the sides, the wider tiles, the full square, they stick out. So the shorter ones lay down very nicely. Before I go to bake, I have one more thing to show you, and that is how I make the chocolates. This is just a piece of foil, and to compact it and shape it, I have rolled it all over the place, and I used a tool to give it that separation. And after you're done making your molds, you want to clean your surface really well because this will leave black on your fingers and your surface, and you don't want to accidentally mar your tiles. So I've conditioned this one little piece about the size of a gumball. Now you can roll out the clay that's going to go over this, but it's not necessary because this will just fold down all the way around. And if it doesn't go all the way to the bottom, that's okay because that never shows. These will be glued into place. So you can see I've started the shape. And then I'm going to roll it to get it smooth. If I want to give it any texture, I can do that now. And they will go into bake according to the directions on your clay. And then we'll see what happens with the box. As you can see, everything's finished baking, and I'm going to add a little more depth to the tiles with my archival ink and a little dabber thing that you can almost paint with on these. Now it stayed together, so I just left it that way, and I'm just going to work around the edges. I'm going to be using Aleene's paper glaze for my dimensional glue, and I'm going to do it as if they were individual tiles. So I'm going to go right up to the edge as I'm putting it on, and then fill in the center. You can even do it on the really tiny ones. The last part is framing. This is an 8x8 dimensional frame. You can almost always find these on sale at Michael's. Now, I have finished up this box with a paper trim with gems and some brown yarn. I like the look of a top and bottom finish, and usually that'll go there on that side. And then I did a simple twisted wire heart and small gems. I put 3 accent gems on the lid here, and you can see how beautiful the finish came out. And I also added the same paper trim and yarn to this one. So find a way to set these where the person looking at it will be able to see like that. When it's hanging on a wall, that's what you'll see. So just make it even on both sides and top to bottom. That needs to come up a little bit. And glue it into place with one of the tacky glues. Now you want to go try one, don't you? Of course you do. It's chocolate. Who does not want to give or get chocolates that last forever? I hope that you are inspired to try something like this, and I hope that if you do, I get to see it. You can email me at Candace@Cool2Craft.com anytime with any photos and stories so I can share them. Stay crafty, my friends. Back to you, Tiffany and Heidi.
I just love everything that Candace does.
I do too.
I'm so glad she's our girlfriend.
She's so special.
She is. You know, you never know how you're going to meet a special friend who becomes a girlfriend. I met Candace when I was living on the East Coast at my sister Candace's store.
The other sister.
And so Candace J, that's why she became Candace J, because we have Candace, our sister, and Candace J. And she came into the store. She had been a customer of Candace's for quite a while, and we had some women's get-togethers. And I had the chance to craft with her. She did a fabulous polymer clay class where I made the fetishes, the little bear fetish. And I got to know her. She ended up moving away to Utah. And thankfully, with the internet and Skype and being able to video the show, we can work on different coasts no matter where we are. And we have become friends, and I just adore you, Candace.
Yes, she's very special.
Going on in our girlfriend theme today, I found that my icon for
passion,
well, what's become my theme for girlfriend gifts are my little gift boxes. And when we were talking about the girlfriend show, I really hadn't thought of these boxes in terms of that. But Mama Aline came in the studio the other day, and she looked at this and she says, "Oh, I love that box. Can I have it?" And
no, she said, "Can I love that box?" And then I think we said, "Do you want it?" And she goes, "Yes, can I have it?"
And then she looked at me. I said, "I made that, Mom." And she goes, "You made that?" And I said, "Yes, I craft." And so it was so cute to see that she, in the midst of our whole studio here, that she found this little box. So it truly has become the girlfriend box. So I would like
the mom box.
Or the mom box. So I would like to show you how I create my girlfriend gift boxes. The first step in this project is to select your box. I found some really cool wooden boxes at the craft store. Super cool shapes, inexpensive, and they work perfect for this project. The first thing I like to do is check the edges and see if they need to be sanded. You can just run your sandpaper along the edges on the top, on the inside. That just takes the rough edges away. Then you are ready to paint. So you'll want to base coat your box both inside and out with the colors of your choice. And usually I found on these boxes that one coat of paint is perfect. So I am going to paint my box both inside and out. My box is now base coated inside and out, and I chose to use the same color both on the inside and the outside. And so now it's time to stamp and stencil. I love to collect rubber stamps, and so what I have here are a few of my favorite old-fashioned wood stamps, and I use cosmetic sponges and acrylic paint rather than ink. And the reason I like to do that is that if I make a mistake, I can just use a wet wipe and take it back off. When you're using ink, it's not quite as forgiving. So when you're using your acrylic paints, you do want to season your stamp with the paint first. So I just put a coat on, let it set for just a few moments, and then add my second coat. Then you will definitely get a better stamped image. And you want to move fairly quickly. Let's go ahead and work on the bottom of the box first. Each time you stamp, you have to add ink one more time. You don't need to season it each time because you only do that once, but you do need to come back and add your ink, or add your paint rather. Every time, just dab it on straight up and down. One thing I have found with the less expensive boxes, the surface is not always real smooth. So don't worry about that. If your design stamps along the entire surface or it doesn't, we can actually come in and use other stamps to fill that in. The whole idea behind these boxes are that they're very whimsical, and so it's okay if your stamp design is not perfect. I'm going to season my next stamp design. Let it set for just a moment. Now I come back with my second layer of paint, and then I can stamp. So what I'm going to do now is complete all of my stamping, and then I want to show you how to stencil. I have stamped every surface that I can, both around the outside edge, the bottom, and the inside. You notice any place where my stamp didn't stamp, I just take one of my little tiny stamps and fill in that area. You can see here it's too hard to stamp around the hinges, so I just use that same small stamp. On the bottom I put some of my little swirls, which by the way are the symbol for gratitude, and I stamped the top edges, added some more of my little bursts, my little star bursts there, and then put the little gratitude symbol right in the inside. So now I want to stencil the top of my box, and Crafter's Workshop has the most incredible stencils. Look at the detail on this. So the theme for this box is dragonflies, and of course this design is perfect. And once again I use my acrylic paint and my cosmetic sponge. And when you tap straight up and down, you're wanting to pick up that paint evenly on the bottom of your sponge. So tap straight up and down. It doesn't take a lot of paint. Don't oversaturate this. This is a very fine stencil, so you want to keep that design without oversaturating. And you're just holding it in place gently, tap up and down. And you don't have to have a solid coat of the black paint. You can see it gives you a beautiful effect without having to apply too much paint. So just dab that on, hold it in place. There are stencil adhesives if you feel that you would rather not try to hold on to the stencil while you're stenciling. Just get some spray on or dab on stencil adhesive at the craft store and put it onto the back of your stencil. Cool. So cool. Love this design. So that gives me a hint of the dragonflies with some really intriguing circles. The next thing you're going to want to do is to let this dry completely. Then we will come back and we'll talk about embellishing the top of the box and putting feet on the bottom. Let's talk about the ways that you can finish off this gift box. This is usually the stage where I leave my boxes when I am creating them in advance. So that gives me several different design options when I want to complete it. So I grabbed some of the mosaic tile pieces out of Eco Heidi Studio, and I have glued them together with the Aleene's 7800 glue to create feet for my box. And as you can see, I've stacked them and turned them, so that gives it a little bit more whimsy, a bit more intrigue for the box. So I created 3 stacks of those to use those for the feet. For the top, what I like to do is just play with some different design options. So these are more of those tile pieces. So that would pick up the same design element that you have on the feet. If you want to add some jewelry pieces to the top, I like that. That's really pretty. I have a much smaller dragonfly. He seems a little bit too subtle for the top. So I would probably finish off my box with this one, or use one of those flat backed marbles for the top so that you can actually raise this dragonfly so it looks like he's perched on top of the center of a flower. So you're going to want to play around with your design. What I also grabbed were my Aleene's tacky dot singles, and I like these because I can use them to adhere. You just peel that clear liner off to reveal the glue, and then you pull that back off. I can use the little tacky dot singles if I want to just put a little decor down on the inside. That way whomever I give this to, it can stay more permanent, or if my girlfriend decides that she wants to change that out or take that piece and craft with it, she can easily remove it out of this box. Remember, the longer that tacky stays on there, the more permanent it's going to be. Another thing that you might want to think about is adding a glossy finish to the top of your box. It really adds a nice dimension. You can use your 3D glaze, you can use your other glazes that add a really nice glossy coat to the top. And that is how I create my girlfriend boxes. As we talked about earlier, I make these by the dozen. I paint the boxes up in advance, and sometimes I'll stamp them in advance, but I don't always put the little jewel on them until I'm ready to actually give them.
And that's what actually gives them their theme, too. It just kind of pulls them all together. And I love that this is a piece of jewelry, isn't it? I love that.
Have you seen my jewelry box? Wait
a minute. Have you seen mine?
What are you talking about? So many of your pieces are in my jewelry box, or are you talking about you have another box?
I think I'll say both for that.
Well, but wait a minute. Finders keepers, losers you lose, because you sent them back to Candace Sister's studio. I put them into a box.
Right.
I have charge of them.
But
so it's my jewelry box that does have some of Heidi's jewelry.
You haven't been back on my shelf to see my collection.
That's what I was trying to get you to clarify. You mean I've just exposed my whole soul, giving away that I have your jewelry. I didn't need to do that?
I already knew it.
Okay, so you were talking about your own jewelry. Oh well.
Deep down that dark aisle back there. The no man's eye, the aisle.
I'm gonna have to go check that out because I have more room in my jewelry box for Heidi's jewelry. I think I need to move some of yours over.
No, it's mine.
But it is fun to take pieces of jewelry. You know, you can find them at yard sales, garage sales. Pieces that we've actually crafted for books have ended up in the stash.
Well, to me, the jewelry pieces are kind of like buttons that you know to collect. You can collect really cool pieces of jewelry for crafting.
Right. See, I'm not a button collector, but I am a jewelry collector, and I don't wear as much jewelry anymore, and I need to do that more. But it's because I've taken it all apart and put it into my box for crafting.
Or send it up on a craft. Yes.
Well, what I want to do as we wrap up today's show is have you let everyone know about the project you made, just in case you tuned in late today.
Well, my project was an eggshell mosaic. It was a Mama Aline vintage technique that we usually use the Aline's tacky glue with. And actually, I think we used acrylic paint. So this time I used new glue, the Aline's double stick sheets. Did I say that right?
Aline's tacky.
Tacky double stick sheets. And I used alcohol inks and the eggshells, and it worked beautifully. To me, it's kind of like a brand new technique. I've taken it to another step. Make it for your girlfriends, for your friends, you can make all kinds of presents. And I think you can make it for pennies too, really.
Love this technique. Love the fact that you can, if you're in a hurry, you need a dry adhesive with the new Aline's adhesives, makes it really fast. That's my snap. Oh my! She's really fast. I can't. My snapper's not working today. Candace J created a wonderful girlfriend gift, and her eternal chocolates are a perfect girlfriend gift box. Those chocolates look absolutely real.
And then what did you make?
What I created are girlfriend boxes. Now you can just take those inexpensive boxes that you find at the craft store, or you can upcycle a box that you already have. Paint it up, stamp it, add a great piece of jewelry to the top, put some feet on the bottom, and you have a really great girlfriend gift.
Yes, you do. Did you talk about the feet?
I did in my demo.
Yes, I know you did.
Yes, but we didn't talk about it now. Feet! It's really fun to use the pieces of the mosaic. Now, some of these are really unusual pieces that you've gathered.
They're tiles that I have gathered. Actually, I bought them for my sister Candace and I, because we both have had mosaic studios. Still have.
Yeah, have you seen Heidi's studio?
So I try to gather anywhere I'm out and about in tile stores or craft stores that have really fun tiles. I buy some for me and some for her.
Super cool. So before we say goodbye today, we would like to invite you to join us over at Facebook. That's facebook.com/Cool2Craft. Go on over there and
like us.
Like
I
us.
like us. You can like us.
And what you will find there is we post our project tutorial links and our video links, and we have a lot of fun conversations that go on those there. So go on over to Facebook and like us.
But not only that, go to Cool2Craft.com because you can find all kinds of tutorials there, and be sure you sign up for the Cool2Craft Fave Crafts newsletter. It has, again, tutorials. Do we do tutorials or what?
Well, what we're trying to do is make sure that you have all the information that you need, because some people prefer to get emails, some prefer to get RSS feeds, some prefer to go online on their own. Whatever the choices are, the right videos. And so if you head on over to Cool2Craft.com, you can find out everything that's going in our world.
Not only that, but check out the archive shows. If you've just joined us, we've been doing this for a long time, so there's a lot of designs that are up on that site. So be sure that you go and check out all the archive projects. And we have a marketplace. We sell a lot of the things that we have on the show, and also the Cool2Craft connection is on there, and that's a really important project for us.
Right, and that's where we sell projects like these in order to raise money for DonorsChoose.org. So check it out. You can find out all the information and links at Cool2Craft.com. Have we missed anything else?
Well, I didn't say that the newsletters come out on Tuesdays and Fridays now, so be sure that you are signed up. I did say be sure you signed up for the newsletter, but not why.
Did you remind him to sign up?
I think I did. If I didn't,
No, you
be
did.
sure to sign up. Sign up.
Well, that's all for today's Girlfriends episode. So we would like to invite you to get creative
Get inspired.
and be cool.
Bye-bye.
Bye. She's giving out kisses today.
My girlfriend.
A gift for you.
Oh, thank you.